The sad end of Paul Mariner shocked many in 2021 when brain cancer took him at just 68 years old. Here was a man who scored in World Cups, lifted European trophies, and thrilled crowds across England. Yet somehow, he never quite got the love other English strikers received. While heroes from big northern clubs became legends, Mariner remained in the shadows. But his story deserves to be told properly. Paul grew up in Bolton, the son of a textile mill worker. As a young lad, he captained his school team for 4 years, but professional football seemed a distant dream. He worked as an engineering apprentice while playing part-time for Town. He earned just £8 per week kicking a ball around non-league pitches. Everything changed when manager Alan Hampson moved him from midfield to striker. Goals started flowing, and scouts took notice. In 1973, Plymouth Argyle paid £6,000 for the 20-year-old. Down in Devon, Mariner found his calling. He formed a deadly partnership with Billy Rafferty. Together, they fired Plymouth out of Division 3 in 1975. Mariner scored 61 goals in 155 games for the Pilgrims. He was more than just a big target man. He had fantastic ball control and could create his own chances. His shoulders back, chest out style made him dangerous with the ball at his feet and in the air. Bobby Robson spotted this talent and brought Mariner to Ipswich Town in 1976. The move changed everything. On his debut against West Bromwich Albion, he scored in a crushing 7-0 victory. This was just the start of the most successful period in Ipswich history. Mariner became their main striker during golden years that fans still talk about today. In 1978, Ipswich reached the FA Cup final against Arsenal. Mariner produced an outstanding display at Wembley. He rattled the crossbar with a thunderous shot and was voted man of the match as Ipswich won 1-0. 3 years later came European glory. Mariner scored in the first leg as Ipswich beat AZ Alkmaar 5-4 on aggregate to lift the UEFA Cup. Earlier in that run, he had scored a hat-trick across both legs against St Etienne in the quarter-finals. The 1980-81 season brought heartbreak alongside triumph. Ipswich challenged for 3 trophies and looked set to win the league title. They built a commanding lead with beautiful football. The team featured Dutch masters Arnold Muren and Frans Thijssen pulling the strings. But injuries took their toll in the final games. Ipswich won just one of their last 5 matches. Aston Villa pipped them to the title. Still, Mariner had scored between 135 and 139 goals in roughly 339 games for the club. He was their marksman-in-chief. International recognition came quickly after joining Ipswich. Less than 6 months later, Mariner won his first England cap as a substitute against Luxembourg in March 1977. He scored his first international goal against the same team later that year. From 1977 to 1985, he remained a consistent England player. He earned 35 caps and scored 13 goals across 8 years. Mariner played in 2 major tournaments for his country. At Euro 1980 in Italy, he made 2 substitute appearances, but his finest hour came at the 1982 World Cup in Spain. He started every game and scored in the 3-1 group victory over France. England went unbeaten and conceded just 1 goal throughout the tournament. His goal against Hungary in 1981 had secured their World Cup qualification in the first place. One image sums up his character perfectly. After Kevin Keegan missed an open goal at the World Cup, cameras caught Mariner helping his devastated teammate to his feet. This showed his supportive nature and strong character. He formed effective partnerships with Tony Woodcock, Trevor Francis, and Keegan himself. While critics often looked for alternatives, Mariner gelled with others effortlessly. Many of his rivals failed to work as smoothly with different partners. In February 1984, Mariner sought a new challenge. Arsenal paid £150,000 to bring him to Highbury. He reunited with international strike partner Tony Woodcock under manager Don Howe. His start looked promising. He scored 7 goals in 15 appearances during his first partial season. Everything seemed set for success in North London, but cruel injuries began to wreck his plans. Recurring Achilles problems slowed him down badly. The 1985-86 season saw him restricted to just 9 appearances across all competitions. His body was betraying him at the worst possible time. During an injury crisis, Don Howe even asked him to play centre-back. Though initially reluctant, Mariner performed well enough in defence to enjoy the experience. This showed his adaptability and team spirit. Things got worse when George Graham replaced Don Howe as manager. Graham brought a new philosophy focused on youth development and discipline. Experienced players like Mariner were gradually moved on. In July 1986, he was released on a free transfer to Portsmouth. His Arsenal career ended with 17 goals in 70 appearances. The dream move had become a nightmare. At the same time, a new generation was taking over the England team. Gary Lineker made his debut in 1984 and quickly became the first-choice striker. Mark Haitley, a tall and skillful youngster, posed a direct challenge to Mariner. Kerry Dixon and Peter Beardsley also emerged as exciting options. By the 1986 World Cup, these players had firmly established themselves. Mariner's final England appearance came in May 1985 against Romania. The changing of the guard was complete. Even if he had stayed fit, the competition would have been fierce. This new generation brought pace, skill, and hunger. Lineker became a prolific goalscorer who would shine at major tournaments. Haitley had a similar physical profile to Mariner but was younger. Dixon and Beardsley offered different styles of play. The depth of talent made it almost impossible for older players to keep their places. After leaving Arsenal, Mariner joined Portsmouth, where he scored their first top-flight goal since 1959. But the club soon faced relegation. He managed just 4 goals in 23 appearances across 2 years. His time in English football's top division was ending. In total, he had scored 214 goals in 561 career appearances. Not bad for a lad from Bolton who started in non-league football. So why did Mariner never get the recognition he deserved? Geography played a big part. Though he came from the north of England, he made his name in the south with Ipswich. He never became a hero at a local big club in his homeland. This meant he missed out on the elevated status that comes with that kind of connection. Ipswich was successful, but played away from the intense media spotlight of northern powerhouses. His playing style was also misunderstood. People saw his physical presence and labelled him just a target man. But Mariner had fantastic ball control and a deft touch. He could create his own chances on the deck and bring others into play beautifully. His versatility and technical skill were overlooked in favour of his more obvious physical gifts. This led to a less complete appreciation of his true abilities. Strangely, Mariner was revered abroad, especially in North America. This was confusing for blinkered English observers who failed to see his true worth. Even when he consistently struck up effective partnerships for England, supporters often wanted alternatives. This disconnect between his effectiveness and public perception contributed to his underrated status at home. Football gave Mariner a second life across the Atlantic. After spells in Australia, the United States, and Malta, he moved into coaching. He managed Plymouth Argyle briefly before joining Toronto FC as Director of Player Development. Later, he became their head coach for 7 months in 2012. Though results were mixed, he gained respect for his knowledge and approach. His real success came as a media pundit. Mariner became a regular on ESPN FC from 2009, working alongside Steve Nicol, Craig Burley, and Alejandro Moreno. He also spent 6 seasons as co-commentator for New England Revolution broadcasts. His fantastic sense of humour and passion for life shone through on television. Colleagues remembered his unwavering kindness and ability to always lift a room. When brain cancer took Paul Mariner in July 2021, tributes poured in from across the football world. MLS Commissioner Don Garber, Clint Dempsey, and many others spoke of his impact. He had found the recognition in North America that sometimes escaped him at home. His personality, warm, funny, and generous, had touched lives far beyond his playing achievements. Paul Mariner gave football everything he had. From part-time player to World Cup starter, from European champion to respected pundit, he lived for the game. His story shows that sometimes the greatest players are the ones who bring others together, who adapt when needed, and who keep giving long after their legs give out. Though his end was sad, his legacy lives on in everyone who knew what he truly brought to football